So I really didn't think things could get worse for the Mavericks after last season. You know, you trade your franchise player, one of the best players in the league, for an aging Anthony Davis. You miss the playoffs, Kyrie tears his ACL, and you got the first overall pick for a prospect that was one of the more hyped prospects, you know, the past 25 years. So you should, you know, with him, with AD there, you know, mostly healthy team, you should be battling for the playoffs, at least the play-in out west, right?
Theoretically, right? You know, you got this championship level team according to Nico Harrison, and it's not really going that way so far this season.
Before we talk about how bad the Mavericks have been, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. So we're gonna skip all the Luka trade stuff from last season. You already know what happened. We've talked about it multiple times. We know Nico Harrison's a dumbass. He traded Luka for AD, Max Christie, a first-round pick.
Most shocking event of my lifetime.
Exactly. That's common knowledge. But the Mavericks did luck out. They got the first overall pick in the draft, and Cooper Flagg, you know, he was the guy coming into it. He wasn't a Wemby-type prospect. I wouldn't even say like a Zion-type guy, at least like, you know, going into the draft.
He was like an Andrew Wiggins-like level.
Yeah.
Probably.
And Andrew Wiggins, like very hyped up, you know, one of the better players we had like seen in the draft in the past like 15 years or so. And besides that, the Mavericks really didn't make much changes this offseason. You know, they brought in D'Lo. So far, he has not been good for them.
Well, Nico said it was going to be a problem. Turns out a problem for the Mavericks, not necessarily the league though. So, yeah.
And besides that, they just like re-signed guys they already had on the roster. We knew Kyrie was going to be out for most of the season. I think, you know, maybe come back March, February if you're optimistic.
February if you're lucky.
Yeah, but most of the season he was going to be out, and still they're over under, which I think was pretty fair going into the season, like 41 and a half games, basically right around 500. You're probably in the play-in picture, either as like an 8 seed, maybe a 9 seed. And because, you know, you'd have Kyrie coming back for them, you know, Cooper Flagg near the end of the season, you could see like maybe him picking it up as he acclimated to the NBA. A lot of people thought they'd be a dangerous playoff team fully healthy. A lot of veterans with deep playoff championship experience. Like I said, like Cooper Flagg could be playing better basketball as the year went on, but so far, Jesus Christ, it has not gone that way. Even with Kyrie being out and like giving them some grace for that, they've looked like
well, I mean, theoretically, everything you said could still eventually happen.
I guess,
maybe, yeah. But yeah, the start is not inspiring a lot of confidence. Like, they started the year at home against Wemby and the Spurs. I mean, no shame in losing to them because Wemby cooks a lot of teams, but it was a little bit unnerving, I would say, considering the Mavericks were cited as like one of the teams best equipped to stop Wemby because, you know, you got Anthony Davis, you got Gafford, you got Derek Lively, like you got a really good rotation of bigs, and Wemby gives you 40 and 15 on opening night. Just not a great start. Cooper Flagg, also not a great start. 10 points on 4 of 13 shooting, and we'll talk about Clay a little bit later, but wow, this man is mega washed. I mean, I guess Megan Thee Stallion is sucking the life out of this guy at this point, like just sucking whatever like play he's got, just like draining this man.
Yeah, D'Lo in his Mavericks debut, he gives you 6 points, a 1 of 6 shooting.
Problem, remember?
So yeah, a big problem. So pretty awful start of the season, but you know, you're playing the Spurs on opening night. I don't think you need to panic. I think it was time to panic in game 2 though. I don't care, it's game 2. You lost by 10 at home to the Wizards.
Yeah.
Keyshawn George cooks you for 34. Cooper Flagg was better this game, but Clay still looked awful, and D'Lo put up that hilarious 1-2-3 stat line.
It doesn't get much worse than that. And somehow it did actually get worse, but yeah. I mean, you lose by 10 to the Wizards if you expect to be a contending team. 5-alarm fire like alert type thing. Like, they were able to get a win in their next game against the Raptors. AD and Cooper Flagg both had big games. We'll give them some credit. D'Lo was big with 24 off the bench. Still, I mean, if you're going to contend for a title, you should beat the Raptors at home, quite frankly. Following that, though, they had a tough test once again at home, this time against the defending champion Thunder. Chet gave Cooper Flagg a welcome to the NBA moment with a big dunk on him. And like, to be fair to Dallas, they were competitive, but they still lost 101-94. Flagg struggled once again, 2 points, 1 of 9 shooting. Klay Thompson gave him just 8 on 3 of 11 shooting. And during their next game against the Pacers, they decided to play Anthony Davis, even though he was dealing with an Achilles injury, which, lest we forget, is the exact same thing that happened the year before when he was dealing with like the hamstring or the groin injury or whatever, and they rushed him back because they were getting heat for trading Luka away, and he got hurt. This organization is run by idiots.
Yeah, I think it was like an abdominal strain is what it is.
Yep.
And less than 7 minutes into this game, believe it or not, he gets injured. Now, luckily for them, he didn't like rupture his Achilles. It was a calf strain. But Jesus Christ, Anthony Davis is already injury prone. I get it. Like, I think there was pressure because you already had such a bad start of the season. Like,
I'm sure he wants to play too.
I believe that. I think Anthony Davis, he's really tried to play through these injuries, but that's a dumbass decision. Regardless, though, you hung on to beat the Pacers 107-105. It came down to the very end as Aaron Nesmith missed a potential game-winning three. They followed up that Pacers game with a 12-point loss to Detroit in Mexico City. Detroit's played great this season, so not a surprise. Following that, you follow the Rockets by 8 in Houston. After that game, Klay got benched because, as we mentioned, he's been absolute But that didn't help at all because the very next game you fall to the 1-6 Zion-less Pelicans at home by 2 points.
I mean, that's rock bottom.
It is.
The Zion-less Pelicans you lose to at home. And that led us to Friday night, first NBA Cup game of the season, taking on the struggling Grizzlies. And look, gotta give credit to, not the Grizzlies, to us, because they got the synthetic sports curse boost. You know, we made a negative video about them, so, you know, they got that boost that night. Just absolutely worked the Mavericks, led by over 30 at one point in the third, and eventually won the game 118-104 in a game that was not as close as the final score indicates. They play the Wizards on Saturday before this video comes out, like you mentioned. I mean, AD might be coming back, but What do you do at this point? Like, they're already struck by injuries. You know, AD's been in and out of the lineup. They're playing Cooper Flagg at point guard, which is like, this guy, like, he's already a rookie. Like, even if he is uber talented, which it appears that he is, he's got plenty of potential. He needs time to adjust to the NBA. And you start immediately by playing him in a position he's never played. This organization, I'm a Blazer fan, right? We're both Blazer fans.
Yeah.
And watching this team and how they conduct business, it's so frustrating.
And again, like, if I'm a Mavericks fan, I'm not like panicking about Cooper Flagg. He's had some stinkers, but he's also had some like good games. He's shown flashes, and like, he's not even a 19-year-old rookie. He's still 18 for the next like month and a half.
Yeah.
So
one quick thing about what you said if I'm a Mavericks fan, I'm not panicking. How many of those are left at this point?
Zero.
Like, how much of the fan base is just mentally checked out from this team and just unwilling to support them until either ownership changes or general management changes? I've seen so many YouTube videos and fans on Twitter who are just like, Reddit too, who are just like, why am I gonna invest like my mental bandwidth into this team? Why am I gonna do it?
And like you were saying, like, where do you go from here? I was thinking today, as I was on my way over here, like, if Nico Harrison got fired today and just hypothetically they grabbed one of us to be GM, say, I'm GM, you know.
What if we co-GM it?
Yeah, we co-GM. What I'm doing, I'm just doing a fire sale. Like, I'm
Interesting.
literally rebuilding because this team fully healthy isn't doing shit. They're not better than Houston. They're not better than OKC. They're not better than the Lakers. And they're not better than San Antonio. Fully healthy? I don't think so. And then, like, I question, are they better than us, Portland? I think probably, given their experience, they could be, but I'm not sure. Golden State, I'm taking Golden State in a 7-game series, and I'm taking Minnesota as well.
Yep.
So really, their first-round exit, their ceiling is a second-round exit at the very best. They're a good defensive team. They're 6th in defensive rating, but they're by far the worst offensive team in the NBA. And you were telling me before we started recording, they have what, the worst relative offensive rating ever?
In NBA history, yeah. Which I'm pretty sure is like your offensive rating against the average of the league.
Right.
It's like minus like 11 point like something. And by the way, if you look at the list of all the other teams that are on that list, it's just a bunch of like teams that won less than 20 games. So unless they figure something out, according to the stats, they're headed for a horrible NBA season. I did see one joke that was hilarious. It was about like Cooper Flagg, you know, the Mavericks winning the lottery and them getting Flagg and whatnot. It's like, guys, see, the worst team in the league won the lottery. Why are you complaining so much?
That's good.
What's the problem?
But that's what I'm saying. That's why if I was, you know, hypothetical GM, if I'm doing my 2K rebuild, I'm just like trading players. Like, I would trade AD. I know Nico Harrison's not gonna because he's too stubborn, but if he's fired in this scenario, I think the next GM should trade AD. They should trade Kyrie when he's healthy, when you can trade him. Trade Gafford, see what you get for PJ Washington, because this team isn't going anywhere. You might as well just rebuild around like Flagg and Lively, I guess. You have Max Christie. There were some rumors they're gonna try and shop Klay. Who the is gonna win?
You know, I did see some Blazer fans on Twitter that were like, oh, Portland connection for Klay.
Too.
You know, we could have some shooting off the bench. I was like, no. Absolutely not. Like, we've got plenty of draft capital. We got some good young players. If we're going to go big game hunting, we better get something better than Klay Thompson. He's got a decent contract. Like, it's not like he's going to absorb a ton of your salary, but man, with the way he's playing, who would take him? And honestly, like, I feel so bad for Klay. Like, he's signed up to play with Luka and Kyrie, and now Luka's in LA and Kyrie has a torn ACL. Like, this is not what he signed up for at all.
Yeah, so overall, like, if I had to guess at this point, I think this team is headed back towards the lottery. If I had to put money on it, I don't think Kyrie plays a game this season, because I think by the time he's ready to come back, they're going to be like 11th in the West, and they're just going to be like,
if you're 15 games under 500, why would you bring him back?
Their core players are old and injury prone, and I know it's been talked to death, but it's just so insane that this was a finals team less than 2 years ago, and now they're probably headed for back-to-back lottery appearances. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like, and hey, while you're here, check out some of our other content as well, and don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.